Hey guys, what's a good word today?
Hey there, Tim.
How are y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Good. What's a good word, Chris?
Well, you know, Tim, I know that inspirational Bible verses are big. I see you on Facebook all the time. We're thinking about one right here. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth.
You know, and that's a good one. I was reading more about that. You picked a good one today because I was reading more about that. And when you read the whole chapter, I don't think it's but 11 or 12 verses, and it's very short. But it is just so strong about what the Lord wants to do for you and how He wants to work for you. You know, so I would say anybody that's got a little problem or something on their mind, that's a great verse. But that whole chapter is just dynamite to read.
The humanistic part of us, though, is being still. We're all the time on the go, but God asks us that one little favor, just be still and know. And sometimes that's so hard, just to stop everything, and you would think we're living in such a technology world that we would have all the time, but it seems like time is just something that goes by so fast.
Yeah.
You know, what jumps out to me is I'm reminded of something from the New Testament with this too. Basically how it rains on the good and the bad. You know, things happen. Good things happen to good people and to bad people. Bad things happen to good people and to bad people too. And you know, God being exalted among the heathen and among the blessed, you know, in a sense, kind of speaks to me in the same way, because it's just saying that He's there whether you think He's there or not. And we can't take minor calamities, and I think anything's a minor calamity in the world. We might take it differently, but I think we just have to take it and say, you know what, another day tomorrow, and God's here either way.
And you know what's the ironic thing of that? If you think about it, yeah, you're right. It rains on the just and the unjust, because when Adam and Eve opened that keg of nails, there we are. We're all in the middle of the pool, you know. But the thing that gets me, have you ever really noticed how much better a Christian can take calamity, or what some people would call a disaster or a trial or a tribulation or whatever, over the ones that don't have God in their life, you know?
Exactly.
It's just like I had an aunt and uncle, and they were married for, I don't know, almost 60 years, and she contracted cancer and passed away, and he was just like a rock of Gibraltar, and he was standing in the middle of the room after the funeral service was over, and everybody was being loud and getting ready to get the macaroni and cheese and everything, and he stopped them and clapped his hands. We're gonna pray first.
Right.
We're gonna pray first. So that's what gets me, and I guess that's what this chapter really tells me is here's what He's got for you. Rely on Him a whole lot.
He's there whether you see Him or not.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the wind. You don't see the wind, but you see the effects of the wind.
And it can be very powerful.
You know the trees are moving, but to say, I saw the wind, we only see the effects, and that's the way I think of God. I know the effects that He has in my life and my family, and it's always positive, and that's what makes Him who He is and makes Him so special.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know that you've noticed, hey, first of all, we want to thank y'all for watching the first 4 episodes. It has been phenomenal. We just can't believe the numbers of you guys that's watching. We want you to keep on watching and keep staying tuned with us, because we love doing it, and we're so glad that you love watching it. So you request or whatever, let us know. But we know you're missing Gary Kirby today. Gary usually sits to your right-hand side there. But Gary's out on a big sound job. Gary's one of the finest sound men I've ever worked with in my whole lifetime, and you know, he's worked with the biggest stars in Nashville, and they just love him to death. So Gary's on assignment right now. We got Lamar Harrison, who goes to church with me and directs the choir down there, and plays piano and does a whole lot for the church down there. But Lamar does a real good job, good Christian man, and we brought him on to kind of take Gary's place today.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. So.
If nothing else, you film the chair for us, and you know, Gary leaves a big chair to fill, using that saying, right? But yeah, it's good to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Sure
I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, you know, Tim, I think I'm hearing something here on the radio. Let's go ahead and turn this up here and get a sense of get some good music going on this day.
I'm going to tell you what, I've always been a Conway Twitty fan. Always been a Conway Twitty fan. And had the honor one time when I opened for him to have breakfast with him, and I tell you what, just the stories that were being told, the laughter that was being held, and it was just great. And You're from Mississippi.
I am a Magnolia boy,
Yeah.
and I know that Conway Twitty, he is from the northwestern part of the state. I'm
Absolutely.
from down in the southern part, towards the coastal area. But it's amazing how you look back over the years that how he come up and what he did and how he got his start. You know, a lot of people started in that little state, Mississippi.
Oh, absolutely. And Chris was telling us a while ago, he's heard two different stories. I've heard one of them all my life, but Chris has heard two different stories as to how Conway got his name. His real name was...
What,
Harold Jenkins. He was born Harold, named after his great uncle, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Conway Twitty. Now, the story that's probably more common of the two is that he sees a road sign, right, as he's driving between shows and
Looking at a road map.
road map.
He
Okay,
was
road
looking
map.
at
right.
a road map.
Sees
and
Conway, Arkansas, and then Twitty, Texas, and says, "Hey, wait a second. That sounds like you put those two together, and that'd be a good marketable name, much more marketable than Harold Jenkins, which sounds kind of plain." The other is that he meets somebody. Now we filmed this show, of course, in Virginia. We're about an hour and a half from Richmond, Virginia, but he's at a show in Richmond, Virginia, and meets somebody who knows somebody named W. Conway Twitty Jr. And they say, "Wow, that's a pretty good sounding name right there. That name might move some records."
Yeah, ain't that the truth? But you know, one of the things I remember back, Conway was this great big, flashy, flamboyant, I guess, good-looking type singer, just a magnificent singer in my book. And you had Loretta Lynn here, who was more of a shy, down-to-earth, meek, quiet country girl. Well, somehow the managements thought that they was going to merge their careers together. And I remember my friends taking side. Everybody that loved Conway Twitty did not think it would work with Loretta, and everybody that loved my daddy, everybody that loved Loretta did not think Conway Twitty ought to be stepping in her territory. And look at the success those two have had together as a duet.
So for the current day music fans who are just getting into Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn, because we did a show on Loretta Lynn a little while ago too. Okay, so let's bring it to the current day. It's Kanye and Taylor Swift, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much the same.
Absolutely.
You know, in terms of you
yes.
took a side and you played a side, and that was your side. So
That's exactly right.
you know, before social media.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Before social media.
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
just radio, and back then black and white TV when it
That's
first
right.
come out. So they was laying some groundwork for the new group that's out there today.
I'm a couple years younger than y'all, but my introduction to Conway Twitty was on my long road trips to my grandfather's house and my parents with 8-track tape,
Oh, yeah.
listening to Conway Twitty. He was one of those that we played all the time on those long drives.
Absolutely. I think everybody played Conway Twitty. But, you know, I was backstage, I think, at Nashville Now with Ralph Emery when Conway was telling Ralph that he was going to build Twitty City. And, you know, you think, my goodness, a man's going to build a city. But what it was just several acres. And he was going to have his home on it, and I think some of the children's home on it. And then he had different shops and record shops, and I think he might even had a small studio there. And that was just an amazing thing to see Twitty City go up. And it kind of broke my heart when Conway passed, and it was no longer Twitty City, but it's going to a good use. You was telling me a while ago, it's going to a pretty good use right now.
It's Trinity Broadcasting. You know,
Trinity Broadcasting.
It's amazing. I believe it's Hendersonville, Tennessee, right outside of Nashville, where it's located. But that's where TBN is headquartered. That's where they have all their Christmas shows, and where a lot of people do their live recordings and then tape recordings for their TV ministries and stuff. And it's amazing how that was used to build and further good works.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
It shows vision on his part too, because you know, now in this day and age, everybody that gets really successful in music, particularly, builds a brand around that. You know, you can go down a long list of musicians who are smart enough to have that vision. But he did this back in the '60s and '70s, and he had his vision to build this up. When few people were really doing this. You know, it was back then you made your money by touring and selling records.
Right.
And
the 33 LPs, right? And the 45s. They had the little thing in the middle that you had to.
But and you got paid by the company to do that, but he foresaw, hey, here's a chance for me to sort of, you know, own the means of production, so to speak, and really built a legacy that, as you say, lives on today with the Trinity Broadcasting.
Well, and you know, one of the legacies he left us is, for the longest kind of time, he had the most #1 hits of any country artist ever.
He did.
It was like 51, and now the King, George Strait, has passed him. But I'm going to tell you what, in my book, and I love George Strait, so don't get me wrong, there's never been a singer to pick up a microphone like Conway Twitty. My mama said she went to Roanoke, Virginia to sing, and said what happened there actually was that, and Conway never was one for introducing or talking a whole lot at his shows. And Mama said, you know, the band was playing some kind of intro thing, type thing. Said all of a sudden, music cut off, stage went black, and said you could just barely see on the stage, and said a silhouette of a man walked out there to the center, and she said you could have heard a pin drop with several thousand people in there. And this voice said, "Hello, darling."
Hello, darling.
And the first aid had their work cut out for them. Mama said they was ushering them up and down the aisles. Women was passing out. So Conway had that magic. He really did have
Showmanship.
That magic.
That's the art of showmanship right there.
Yeah.
It really is. Well, you know, a friend of mine in Nashville told me one time, he said, one of the things is not only your singing or whatever, but he said you have to captivate the crowd. You have to have the crowd with you. And he said he's seen good artists down there that sang very well, and people are sitting there trimming their fingernails or whatever, and then maybe somebody that doesn't sing quite as well captivates that audience, and he's got every eye in the place on him for the whole time.
And he had both. He had the showmanship and the skill and the talent. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The art of pulling people together.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, I think I'm gonna head on up to Malcolm's barn and sing me a couple songs. They say it's a bunch of people up there and they're getting a little impatient, so I always enjoy it when I go up to Malcolm's cabin, I guess, and we always enjoy going up there. So we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, and hope you like what you hear. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome up here to Malcolm's cabin. I told you that we'd meet you up here in a little while. We're going to do a couple songs because we got a great crowd here and we enjoy doing them. And as most of you know, I write my own material, and this song is called Braylon Nevaeh. And we was at a meeting one day, and this young lady was born, so we immediately run up to the hospital. And the grandmother, Miss Rose, said, you know, there would be nothing any better than if you would just write a song for this little child. So I wrote one of my favorite songs that I've ever written in my life, and I wrote it for Rose and Braylon, and it's called Braylon Nevaeh. Braylon Nevaeh, so sweet and so warm. Oh, the lives that you've touched since the day you were born. One of these days, I know you realize the love that I give when I look in your eyes. When I hold you close, you are my lily, and I am your rose. A smile that brings sunshine and love to my soul. A passion for loving that's out of control. Braylon Nevaeh, God sent from above. You put new meaning in cherish and love. Created with love from our Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's a song I wrote for Miss Rose and Braylon called Braylon Nevaeh. Right now, I'm going to do a little up-tempo song. It's a fun song. I wrote this for the Harley-Davidson people, and just across the nation, we've got so many people that love their Harleys and their motorcycles hollering back at us. A couple of them have put this on their website as their national anthem. I hope you like our version of a song called Feel the Thunder.
It's 3:45 on Friday. There's 15 more to go. A few more rounds on that old Timex, and I'll hear that whistle blow. I work hard all week long, just waiting for today. When I work, and when I love, but when I play, I play. Feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under me. Feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under me. When I get on my Harley, that's when life begins. I feel a rumble from that American hog, and I roar up with my friends. The road starts here and it never ends, and it's time we had some fun. The whole world's in the palm of my hands with my Harley Davidson. Hey! There are things I don't compromise, 'cause it means so much to me. God above and the bike I ride, and a real close family. I'm proud to be red, white, and blue. That's the color of my blood. Whenever my face is in the wind, I'm on a Harley Davidson. Feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under me. Feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under me. When I get on my Harley, and that's when life begins. I feel the rumble from that American hog, and I roar up with my friends. The road starts here and it never ends, and it's time we had some fun. The whole world's in the palm of my hands with my Harley Davidson. Feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under me. Feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under, feel the thunder under me.
Well, thank you everybody for that round of applause. We appreciate you coming this week to Malcolm's Cabin. We're going to invite you to come on back down to the country store, because that's when I'm headed just in a few minutes. We'll see you down at the country store in just a few minutes. We'll be there. Wow, guys, I tell you one thing, that sure felt good up at the cabin up there. A couple good songs, good crowd, responsive crowd, and just a good show all together tonight.
Oh, you could hear them. They were into it tonight.
They're really going.
Really into it. And you and Kay going to do a couple of songs coming up too, aren't you?
Yes, sir, we sure are. We're
Yeah, some fine
excited about
gospel
it.
there. Kay being his wife, and he plays the piano and does a great job. I'm going to rope him into a little bit of country music before it's all over with. And Chris, tell them a little bit. I don't think we mentioned you at all on the first 4 episodes, but you and your wife Crystal own Augusta Free Press newspaper, don't you?
Yeah, we're based here in town, the same town Tim and his Music City are and have been for years. And Augusta Free Press is a news website that's been around for 15 years. And we also dabble in some marketing and video work, and we even design some websites, including this one that you've probably seen this video series on now, GodandCountryMusic.com. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, we have fun, getting to be in your hometown. We both graduated from the same high school.
Absolutely.
A couple years apart.
Absolutely.
But it's nice being able to do what you do in your hometown with people you love being around.
Absolutely, and it's just great, and you as well as myself, the people here in Hermitage and Waynesboro, Virginia, have been awfully good to us. Been awfully good to us.
No question. I mean, we're blessed. You've been blessed with what you do in music all these years. You get to do what you love doing and do it at home, and get to come home at night to a beautiful place to live. All these mountains around us and the greenery and everything, and we're in the same way. It'd be a lot easier for us to move to a big city and be doing web work and marketing work and everything else, but it wouldn't be nearly as fulfilling.
Well, one guy asked me one time, said, if you never make it in your music or your preaching and ministry, he said, what will you think then? I said, boy, I had a good time.
That's right.
I had a good time.
I'm doing some TV work now. I get to do some ESPN things and everything else, but at night, I put my head on a pillow here in the beautiful Shenandoah Valley, Virginia, and that's a blessing right there.
There is nothing, and I tell my wife, I'm not from here. I am originally from Waynesboro, Mississippi. So, I associate Waynesboro, Virginia a little bit with Waynesboro, Mississippi, and I tell my wife, growing up, did you ever get tired of seeing the beauty, because there's such serene pictures, atmospheres here, take a drive up on the mountain, and it's just, you look at it, it's so peaceful. I love it. I think it's better than medicine sometimes.
Well, Lamar, we really appreciate you coming in and taking Gary Kirby's place today. It's been a pleasure to have you around the old general store here. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for watching our episode of God and Country Music. And right now, I think it's time to turn out the lights, pull the shades, lock the door, and bid y'all a very fine farewell, and God bless each and every one of you.